Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back. So today we're going to be doing another Monster High doll ranking, this time for Abbey Bominable. If you haven't seen this series before, it's just a thing I do on my channel where I take a Monster High character and then I rank every single doll that was released for them. The last one I did was for Spectra, and I asked you guys who you wanted to see next, and I feel like Abbey was universally like the one that most people wanted to see. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I do plan on kind of going through every character that has enough releases to merit their own video, so like I'll get to everybody at some point, and then for every character that had like 1 or 2 doll releases, I'll be doing them all in like a conglomerate video. So like we literally are going to get to everybody at some point. But yes, today is Abbey's day. Before we do start, the disclaimer I always give is that this is just my opinion. It's totally okay if you disagree. Obviously some people are going to disagree, and like it's not a personal attack against you, it's just my opinion. Happy to hear from everybody in the comments below on what your thoughts are. And I think that's everything that we need to say for the intro. So let's go ahead and get into the ranking. So I do use Procreate for all of my rankings, and I have my own special tiers that I use. So it goes perfect, good, good but not for me. That category is specifically for dolls that I can objectively understand are a good design, but for some reason they just don't resonate for me. Mediocre, bad but it gets worse, and burn it. So we're going to be starting off with the Welcome to Monster High Dance the Fright Away Abbey, Reboot Abbey. But honestly, not nearly as bad as a lot of other reboot dolls. I don't love the hair color combo. I think my favorite Abbeys are the ones that have like pink, purple, and blue accents, but have mostly the white hair. I just think that looks very like frosty and beautiful. Personally, overall, I don't love this doll. I think that her prints on her dress lean a lot more crystal than ice. But again, it could be a lot worse. I appreciate the fact that she has, you know, details. She's got the transparent shoes, which I always love. That being said, though, I still don't like her, so I'm going to put her in bad, but it gets worse. Next up is the original Abbey. Unquestionably my favorite release for her. I just think this is such a stunning doll. So, so beautiful. Again, I like when she has a lot of white in her design because I think it just fits in, like the snow and the ice. It makes a lot of sense. All the pastel colors, take note of that because we're going to get to that later with some later releases. But she's so beautiful, so stunning. She's going to go in perfect. Next up is Sweet Screams, and I haven't had to talk about Sweet Screams for a while. So if you haven't seen some of my earlier videos that I did in the series, I have never been a fan of sweets themed dolls. I just don't really get it. I know that that's kind of an unpopular opinion when it comes to this line. Like Sweet Screams is pretty loved within the Monster High community, and I'm not a fan. So this one especially, I think the colors are very, very dark for Abbey. I don't like that as much. I really don't get any of her theming other than the fact that it's ice cream that she's got going on, like ice cream, I get it. But other than that, it just doesn't really match to me. I do feel like I have to put this in good, but not for me because like I know people really like this line, but I don't get it at all. Okay, next up is Roller Maze. I do think that she also was released in a 2-pack for Roller Maze with a helmet. I don't know if she had a helmet in her like single release. This stock photo obviously doesn't have one, but like she did have a helmet at some point. I just think it's boring. I don't like the green. The addition of the green I think is very bizarre, and like she's already got a lot of colors happening that are cohesive, so I think that the green really just breaks that up and makes it a lot worse. I don't think anything about this specifically says ice to me or makes me think of cold climates. So I don't like this one. Oh God, how badly do I not like it? That's the question, is like, how bad is it? Like genuinely, I think I'm gonna put this in burn it. No part of that gives me Abbey. Okay, but Skull Shores, this I think is impressive because it's obviously like a beach themed doll, which is literally the opposite of like ice and snow and Abbey's like native climate. But I think that they killed it on this one. The colors are a little bit dark for me. I definitely prefer when Abbey has like strong pastel colors, but I love the hat that's like kind of ice-like. So it's like she's got this sun hat, but it's literally made of ice. It's just so funny to me. I think her hair has a good balance of color in it. All of the design elements I just think actually work really, really well. Still definitely not as good as the original design. I don't know if any of them will be, but I am going to put her in good. I think that was a solid doll. Okay, next up is Scarus, and it works. You know, her hair is fine. Her earrings are fine. She's got the icicle belt. The dress is like a little bit of fur on the bottom. Overall, I think it's really boring. And that has also been a theme in these rankings, that I just feel like a lot of the Scarce dolls are really, really boring. Like the designs aren't that exciting to me. So I'm going to put her in mediocre, because she's definitely not bad, but like she just doesn't stand out to me. Okay, then next up is Picture Day. Again, a lot of dark. Like when they start adding black to Abby's looks, it just seems really jarring to me. I think she looks the prettiest when she is just in like these lofty pastel colors. Like you wouldn't even see her in the ice because all of her colors are so pale. I think that is so, so pretty. So I don't like the black on this. I also don't get the patterns on any of it. I love her boots. I will say that. I love her boots. But like she's got this drip going on her top, and the patterns in her dress and her leggings just like don't really make sense to me. I didn't think I was going to rate this doll as badly, but I also think this is going to go in bad, but it gets worse. Like I don't get it. I don't think it really says Abby. Next up, okay, Party Ghouls. This one is one of the few Abbey dolls that is done in a much darker color palette that I think is done well. I think the dark blue lip kind of brings it together, where it's not just she's wearing dark colors and it's very jarring from her actual like base doll. I think that kind of ties it together. Her hair has darker colors in it. I still don't like it as much, but it is a lot better than it could be. The boots are always a hit with Abby. Abby's shoes are always really cool because they always have like the translucent and like the ice theme. I don't know. I don't know how other people feel about this doll, so I'm hesitant to put it in good but not for me. But I don't think that it's good enough to go in good. I hope that that makes sense. I'm going to go ahead and put her in mediocre. Well, I don't know. I feel like that's so mean. No, I think she's going to go ahead and go in good but not for me. Someone out there has to like this doll, and I do think that she deserves to be a little bit above mediocre, so that's where we are. Okay, Music Fest. I actually have this Abby, and I think she's like cute. She's not the best. I love the boots as always. Her icicle belt is really cool. Definitely like used twice on two different dolls, but it is a cool thing. Again though, the rest just doesn't scream Abby. Like it's not thematic to me. Like the splatter painted denim skirt isn't a bad design, but I just don't really see how it fits in with her theme. I think that's a running issue that I have here. The shirt I don't think is as bad. I don't know. Overall, it's like, it's fine. I'm gonna put this one in mediocre. Like, she really isn't bad. I don't feel that strongly about her. Ooh, okay. I Heart Fashion. Again, a darker look on Abby, but done well. I really think it does all come down to adding those darker elements into the base doll with the dark lip, the darker toned hair. But she still has so much white in her hair too, so you can, even in the stock photo, you can see all of like, it's not tinsel that's added in there, I don't think, but like the shiny element to her hair is just, even in the stock photo, you can see it. It is so stunning. It makes it so appropriate. I think this outfit, like she came with other outfits. This is the I Heart Fashion, but this is just like the one I'm judging her on. I think it's so simple compared to some of her looks, but it is so much more effective than others. The lace up gives it a nice detail. The fact that it's a sweater dress is thematically appropriate, even though it doesn't have any crazy print to it. It makes sense. Like she comes from a cold climate. Of course she's going to have a sweater dress. The leg warmers are precious. This one I think is going to go in good. Again, not as wonderful to me as the original Abby, but that I think was a very, very strong design. Ooh, okay. Ghouls Rule. This is what I want from Abby. Like the sparkle, the shine, the translucent elements. She's staying so true to the ice theme and like the cold theme. This is just so beautiful. I don't know what's up with her hair, like the style. Obviously you could redo that if you have this doll. I don't know what that style is supposed to be. Maybe it's just poorly executed on the stock photo, but I do think that this is a really, really good doll. I wouldn't buy so I feel like I can't put her in perfect because I like definitely would not buy this doll just because I don't really want it for my collection. Like I don't know how to explain that. I'm sure you guys know, as fellow doll collectors, like sometimes you like a doll and you can acknowledge that it's a good doll, but like you just don't really want it. But I do think that she's better than good but not for me, so she's gonna go in good. And then we've got Geek Shriek, and kind of boring. It is thematic. She's got the icy shoes, the icy glasses, and I think it's interesting because I think that the dress, it's got snowflakes and little atoms on it, and the atoms very interestingly really like blend into the snowflake theme. I think from far away, like you could think that those are just more abstract snowflakes. So I think that that was actually really, really smart. I wouldn't buy her, but I do think that while simplistic, this is a good design, and I'm gonna put it in good, but not for me. Then we have Dot Dead Gorgeous. You can see from my very poor cropping skills that this was a 3-pack. And yeah, I just didn't find a stock photo that wasn't all 3 of them. So sorry, ignore Ghoulia and Draculaura's eyes on either side. But I actually really, really like this one. I think she's got the nice pastel going on, which I really love. She has a lot of icy elements and not too many colors going on, which I think is really pretty. The black is kind of an accent color instead of a really in-your-face black. I think it's really beautiful. I still don't think it's perfect. I just really don't think that anything can touch how beautiful the original Abbey was. But I do think that this comes close. She might be my second favorite Abbey. We'll see how the rest of the ranking goes, but she's gonna go in good. Alrighty, dead tired. I say this in every video. I am not a fan of sleep dolls. I just would rather have a doll in a day outfit or like a going out outfit or a fancy dress. Just pajamas, I don't know, it's kind of boring to me. But I do think that this is really well executed. I love how cozy her pajamas look, even though they're not like super full coverage pajamas. Like she's not wearing, you know, long pants and like a big puffy shirt. I really feel like that, oh, it's cold and like I want to be cozy vibe from it. I love that. I think the fact that she comes with ice cream is so cute and so funny. She's gonna go in good, but not for me. Because like if I liked pajama dolls, I would love that. I just don't. All right, then we have Coffin Bean, another much darker Abbey, and I just don't vibe with this. I don't think it's the worst. She has thematic printing that's not really, really gross. She has a lot of ice-themed items. So, like, it ticks all the boxes, but just also really doesn't work for me. I'm going to put her in mediocre. This is Classroom. This was a 2-pack with, I want to say, Heath Burns. Sorry if I got that wrong. I just, like, am not up on that. I don't like this one at all. The shoes are transparent, but they also don't feel icy like a lot of her other shoes do. I think the whole point of this one with Heath was supposed to be like the fire and ice thing, and they just didn't ice Abbey at all in this doll. The patterns don't really make sense. It's a very, very dark dress. The hair streaks are all over the place instead of getting that nice pearlescent shiny white. I feel like it's just a lot of color for her. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Like I'm really, really not a fan. I actually think I'm gonna put this in Burn It. Alrighty, art class. I think this is a really funny doll. I wish that we had gotten more transparent elements just because I'm a huge fan of transparent plastic in any capacity. I don't know what it is, just tickles my brain. But we do have a lot of sculpted like icicles, and the belt is a different kind of belt this time. And then the shoes I think are really, really awesome. Even though they're not transparent, I think that that's a beautiful blue. And I love the frosty white kind of dripping from the top. Beautiful, beautiful. The color scheme, on point. The pink goggles are like a little random because everything else is pretty blue on this doll. So that jars me a little bit, but I do think it's really good. I like that she has fur incorporated because like fur makes sense in a cold environment. And you actually don't see that on as many Abbey dolls as I feel like you should see it on. And then the fact that it's art class and her art is like ice sculpture. So she's got a little chainsaw to carve the ice. I think is so funny. I actually really like this. I'm going to put it in good. Okay, then we have the collector's edition Abbey. I don't know if this is going to be a controversial opinion because I don't really see people talk about her, at least anymore. You know, she's not a new doll. I don't think this is done very well. That's just to me. Obviously, I have established through the course of this video that I prefer Abbey to be in more pastel colors, and this is literally the opposite of that. But I also just think that realistically, if I'm being like completely honest, in 2022, this looks like a deluxe Cave Club doll. This doesn't look like a deluxe Monster High doll. I feel like they really dive deep into caveman type aesthetics, like I said, Cave Club, and did not really get the Arctic aspect. That's just me. I don't like it at all. I think it's very bizarre. I think it could have been a lot better executed. Like there are better dolls that have been released for Abbey that are not collector's dolls. I just think this is really bad. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's definitely not the worst, but I would have loved to have seen a better collector Abbey. I think a collector's edition of her could have been so pretty with like white fur, better sequins that don't look really cheap like that, more transparent aspects, more of a pastel vibe. Like, I feel like you could have done so much and they did so little. I'm actually quite upset about this, but it's gonna go in bad, but it gets worse because, like, obviously someone designed it. It's not boring. I just don't like it. And then lastly, we've got 13 Wishes. Much like Spectra, I think that silver is more suited to Abbey than gold is, but for what it is, I think it could be a lot worse. I do love that she has at least the metallic gold because I think the metallic really lends into the icy feel, even though it's not the color I would ideally choose. Just everything 13 Wishes was gold. Her shoes are fine. Her dress is very dark again, and I don't think the curls really suit Abbey. At least not on this doll. I don't know what it is. It's kind of throwing me off. And then like the yellow eyeshadow, I don't know. Again, I feel like this is a doll that could have been really cool, but just like the colors and everything that were chosen, not a huge fan. I think I'm also going to put her in bad, but it gets worse. I'm trying to like judge. No, I'm going to put her in mediocre because I think she's better than the other ones that I put in bad, but it gets worse. I just also am not a huge fan. So that's going to be the whole Abbey ranking. I am a little bit surprised by myself. I kind of thought that I would have more positive things to say. I think Abbey is actually a lot like Spectra for me in that I like her original release so much, and I love the start that they gave her character, and that everything after that just seemed to get worse. Like, they just could never top or even equal the original release for me. So yeah, that's kind of like my overall feeling. Sorry if you're a really big Abbey fan. I feel bad to everyone who requested me to rank her for ranking a lot of these so poorly. I do have a lot in good, so that's cool. But yeah, I think that Abbey is a character who has a ton of potential and has like a very clear theme, and just a lot of her designs never lived up to that. So that's going to be the overall ranking. Whether that was something that you agree with or not, I hope this video was at least entertaining for you. Like I said, definitely let me know your thoughts and feelings on Abbey down in the comments below. If you have a particular character you would like to see in this series next, like I said, I'm going to get to all of them, but like, let me know which one you want to see soonest. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.